This recording was made to be listened to slowly, with subtitles on, so you don't just hear the words, you feel them. Let them sink in at your pace. Most people live their entire lives haunted by one question. What will they think of me? It starts small, in classrooms, dinner tables, playgrounds. You learn to read people before you even understand yourself. You become careful with your words, selective with your actions, measured with your presence. And over time, you start shrinking. Not physically, but emotionally, spiritually. You stop doing things that bring you joy if they might invite judgment. You stop saying what you think if it might lead to rejection. Until one day you're not sure if you're living your own life anymore, or just playing a role others will clap for. This video is about that moment. The moment you realize you're tired of trying to be liked, tired of filtering yourself to fit someone else's expectations, and maybe, just maybe, ready to live for you. At some point, trying to please everyone becomes a quiet prison. You do the right things. You say what people want to hear. You shape your personality to feel acceptable, and the world rewards you for it. People call you polite, respectful, easy to be around. But inside you feel like a ghost. Like you've edited yourself so many times that even you can't remember who the original was. You begin to notice it in subtle ways. You overthink every message before you send it. You feel relief when plans get cancelled. You apologize even when you're not wrong. You laugh at jokes that don't feel funny. And most of all, you feel exhausted. Not because you're doing too much, but because you're constantly managing perception. Constantly trying to earn approval that never lasts. This is the root of so much unhappiness. The belief that your worth is something to be negotiated. That it can be taken from you if you're not careful. But here's the truth. Approval is addictive, but never fulfilling. It creates a cycle. The more you get, the more you fear losing it. And slowly, without noticing, your life becomes a performance. Every decision, every relationship, every version of yourself is filtered through the lens of, what will they think? You start to forget how to just exist. To sit in a room and be fully yourself without adjusting your tone or posture or opinions. And in that forgetting, you begin to disappear. Not to the world, but to yourself. And the only way back is honesty, even if it costs you applause. Most people think fear shows up as panic, hesitation, or paralysis. But fear is clever. It often wears a mask. Sometimes it looks like perfectionism, or procrastination, or overthinking, or silence. But beneath all those behaviors is often a single emotion: fear. The fear of being exposed, the fear of being judged, the fear of not being enough. So we create strategies, psychological shields. We say, I'm just taking my time, when really we're afraid of criticism. We say, I'm too busy, when really we're afraid of failure. We say, I don't care what people think, while secretly aching for approval. We create these stories not to lie to others, but to protect ourselves from pain. And that's where unhappiness festers, because when you avoid discomfort long enough, it becomes your new normal. You stop trying things you might love. You stop reaching out to people who might care. You avoid opportunities that could change your life, just because they might also hurt a little. You build a life around avoidance, around control, around safety. But safety is a double-edged sword. It keeps the pain out, yes, but it also keeps the joy out. It locks you in a version of yourself that never expands. Here's the hardest truth to swallow. You might not be unhappy because you're broken. You might be unhappy because you've been trying so hard to avoid being broken that you stopped truly living. And that's not your fault. It's a strategy, a way to cope, a way to feel protected. But maybe now, it's time to let that strategy go. Not because you've failed, but because you're ready to grow. When your life revolves around being liked, your relationships start to rot from the inside. Because it's not just your behavior that changes, it's your expectations too. You do things for people not because you want to, but because you hope they'll do something for you in return. A thank you, a compliment, an invitation. You throw a surprise party and feel crushed when no one throws one for you. You check in on people constantly and feel betrayed when they don't do the same. You give your time, your energy, your care, but secretly keep score. And when people don't pay you back the way you expect, it doesn't just hurt. It feels personal, like rejection, like proof that you're not enough. But here's the truth. They never agreed to the rules of the game you're playing. You gave with conditions. And that's not connection. That's control dressed up as kindness. Real connection isn't built on silent transactions. It's built on presence, freedom, boundaries. And when you drop the act of constant giving just to feel worthy, you might realize something heartbreaking. Some people only like the version of you that never said no. And when you stop being that version, they start to drift away. Or they get angry. Or they guilt you. And that hurts deeply. But it's also a gift. Because the ones who stay, the ones who meet you where you are, with no need to earn or prove, those are your people. You don't need many, just a few. But they're out there, and you'll find them a lot faster when you stop pretending to be someone you're not. So what's the alternative? Living for yourself, not in selfishness, but in truth. Not in rebellion, but in alignment. Living for yourself means deciding that your worth isn't something others get to vote on. It means choosing joy even when it's quiet, choosing peace even when it's lonely, choosing honesty even when it's risky. It means finding value not in how many people approve of you, but in how deeply you approve of your own life. There's a difference between being good and being seen as good. The first requires courage, the second just requires performance. Happy people, the ones who truly glow from within, are rarely the ones who spent their lives chasing applause. They're the ones who chose to do what felt right even if no one noticed. They build relationships on contribution, not control. They help others not to be liked, but because helping fulfills them. They speak their truth, not to argue, but to be free. And they understand something vital. You can't fake fulfillment. You can't pretend your way into peace. You have to build it, brick by brick, choice by choice, boundary by boundary. And when you start to live that way, it on your own terms, for your own reasons, something beautiful happens. The anxiety fades, the resentment softens, the loneliness starts to lift. Because suddenly, you're not waiting for the world to choose you. You've already chosen yourself. But choosing yourself isn't a one-time decision. It's a practice, a daily act of courage, a quiet rebellion against every voice, external or internal, that told you your value was conditional. It's waking up in the morning and saying, even if no one gets it, I will still honor what feels right to me. It's setting boundaries that disappoint others, but protect your peace. It's speaking your truth, even when your voice shakes. It's walking away from relationships that require you to abandon yourself to be loved. It's letting go of the illusion that you have to earn belonging. Because the truth is, the more you show up as your full self, the more you realize something powerful. You never needed to be more likable. You just needed to be more honest. And with that honesty comes alignment. With that alignment comes peace. And with that peace, real connection finally becomes possible. Not because you convinced someone to like you, but because you invited someone to see you, and they stayed. If this message resonated with you, don't leave in silence. Leave a comment, even just a word, and let someone else know they're not alone in feeling this. Hit like if something here made you breathe a little deeper. Subscribe if you want more moments like this in your life. And if you're ready for the next step in this journey, the next video is waiting for you, right here on the screen.